Hi everyone! So today we're going to be looking at Gun Tul, the second ITF pattern learnt at Yellow Belt. So the pattern has 21 movements and its diagram is a capital I as shown in this picture now. Dangun actually has a really interesting history behind it. So Dangun is named after the Holy Dangun, who was a legendary founder of Goiseon, the first kingdom of Korea. He is said to be the grandson of the god of heaven and to have founded the kingdom in 2333 BC. The history of Dangun traces back to Dangun's grandfather and his decision to give a tiger and bear the opportunity to transform into humans. I will attach a document which goes through the whole story if you are interested. Unusually for a pattern, all the punches in Dangun are high section, so eye level, symbolising Dangun scaling a mountain. But right, let's get into the actual pattern. So firstly, I'll go through the pattern in slow motion, move by move. If you're wondering about the very fashionable leg warm that I'm wearing, that's just to remind you that that's my left leg because the video will be mirrored for you. Hopefully this will make it slightly easier to follow. Okay, so going into the first move, you're going to use your left foot to step to the left and form an L stance knife hand guarding block. Just a quick reminder of what an L stance is before we properly get into the pattern. An L stance has a 70%, 30% weight distribution, 70% on your back leg, with your back foot facing outwards and your front foot facing forwards. We're then going to step forward into a high section, so eye level walking stance punch, and at this point your right leg should be forward. And try to remember to make a clear distinction between your L stances and your walking stances. We're then going to pick up our right leg and pivot 180 degrees to face the right hand side and perform those same two techniques again, landing with the left leg forward. Next, we're going to pick up our left leg and move it 90 degrees to face the front and perform a walking stance low block. And now for the fun bit, we're going to do 3 high section walking stance punches to the front. And as you can see, you should then end with your right leg forward. Okay, so this next transition is slightly difficult to explain, but essentially you're going to move your body to the left, turn 270 degrees and end up with your left leg forward to perform an L stance twin forearm block. Then you'll just step forward and perform a high section walking stance punch with your right leg forward. Next, we're going to pick up our front leg, so our right leg, turn 180 degrees and perform those exact 2 movements again. So L stance twin forearm block, step forward into walking stance high section punch, ending with your left leg forward. So I'm sorry this next part isn't too clear in this video, but I've also filmed myself performing the pattern the other way around. But basically, you're going to move your left foot 90 degrees to face the back and perform a walking stance low block, followed by a walking stance rising block in continuous motion, so you don't step forward between these 2 techniques. You're then just going to perform the walking stance rising block 3 more times, so there are 4 walking stance rising blocks altogether, and you should end facing the back with your right leg forward. Remember, these rising blocks should be able to defend you from someone coming to attack you with, say, a big stick on the top of your head. So we're coming to the end of the pattern now, you'll be glad to know. Here you're going to turn your body to the left, so anti-clockwise, 270 degrees, landing with your left leg forward to perform an L stance knife hand strike, before then stepping forward to perform a walking stance high section punch with your right leg forward. You're then going to turn 180 degrees clockwise to perform those 2 movements again, so L stance knife hand strike, followed by a walking stance high section punch, and then you should end with your left leg forward and of course the Kiap Dangun. Finally, pick up your left leg to return to Norani Chumbi Sogi or Paula Ready stance. For some reason this was cut out of this video, so awkwardly enjoy the starting image again. I'm now going to play the pattern at full speed, both facing the front and the back, so hopefully you can see all angles and follow along clearly. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all, please let me know.